Good evening, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and it is Sunday afternoon, going on 4:45 Central Time here in Plano, Texas. And I wanted to get out another video just to talk. I'm going to try to do this on a weekly basis, talk about trading ideas for the week, some possibilities, things I'm looking at. And of course, things always develop and change during the week, but at least this gives you some idea, some things to take a look at. So let's first start off with this one that's been very frustrating to me that I got out of on Friday, Broadcom. And you can see right here, I said that I got in at 25.68, right in here, right before the close on the 27th, and basically held this thing for 10 days, had puts, and of course it just went sideways, went up slightly, went sideways on me, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday with the market. But honestly, at some point you have to just you have to have a time stop, in my opinion. I've had where I got burned because 5 days was too short, and you just never know. I think given it 10 days, that's what I like to do. So I got out. I got out at this price, but the puts went down in value. I think it was like 32%, something like that on the position. So you know, you just can't. One thing I've learned over time is that you can't get yourself in a situation where you're hoping that your trade is going to turn around, because hope is not a strategy. And if you've been around trading for a while, you probably heard that. And so, I've made the decision that says, okay, I'm going to have a time stop as well as stops that I have on the trade for being stopped out and going against me, or trailing type stops. So anyway, let's move on from there and let's talk about a couple other ones. Apache I got into at 87.12 on Friday. I waited for it to pull back a little bit, got in 87.12, closed 87.95. Again, this is looking really good. I think this is a huge head and shoulders bottom on this one. The moving averages are aligned. The 50s above the 200, the 20s above the 50, the 10s starting to round up. It just looks like it's trying to go. So we'll see. This gap in here in prices is held. You notice how we pulled back down towards the top of the gap, and it's held so far. So that's a good sign. The next one is Expedia that I am in. This one I've got puts on, and you can see I bought the puts at 51.07. It's gone against me a little bit. The moving averages, the volume has dropped off on these last 2 days of rally. Now, here's my stop. If I get a close above the high of this day here, 51.95. If I get a close above that high, I will be out. I got a feeling this is going to roll back down, but we'll see, because I think this is negative, and we'll see what the futures start doing here in about 15 minutes as they start trading on Sunday evening. Let's see, the next one, Expedia, Apache. Let's talk about Yandex, which is that Russian internet search engine stock. I got into it 38.01, so we're right about here. It's up slightly from where I got into it. It's in a really solid uptrend. A little bit of negative divergence that occurred in here, but honestly, that happened before the sell-off. You can see here on the RSI. Price went to a higher high, but the indicator did not. It sold off hard right to the trend line. Actually, this trend line's been in, and the 50-day moving average. And you've got the 50 above the 200, the 20 above the 50, the 10 above the 20. So they're all aligned. It's just a matter of, is this thing going to break out here? And these lines I've got here, just so you know, this is long-term support or resistance. This thing just started trading back when June of 2011. So that was the high when it first got issued, and here's another peak high here. It breaks through these, this thing could really go. So we will see. It's another one of those internet stocks that's on a tear. KLAC, KLA 10 core. Here we go. Okay, this is another one. I got a buy signal on Friday. I am not in this. You gotta pick and choose. You can't take everything, unfortunately. But you know, this is looking good because it's breaking out of this congestion in here, this trend line. I got the dual close above the 10. I like to see confirmation. Uh, Now the only thing, the 50 is kind of flat. It's not like it's, you know, rising up in here, but that's okay. I mean, the 50 is above the 200. That kind of confirms to me a long-term situation. The 20 is above the 50, confirms an intermediate positive. And then the 10 is now swinging back above here. So like to see that we've got some long-term resistance in here. See this line right here? Let me show you. Um, there's been some price points all the way back 2004, 2007, where it sold off when it got into this, where I've got the line drawn. So that is right around 62, a little over 62 and a half, right above this peak here. So we get through that, this thing could run. Now the risk in going long here is that it could just come up, hit this, and roll back over again. So it's out there as a trading idea. It seems like a decent risk reward. Of course, you got to take into consideration how the market's trading tomorrow. The next one we'll look at is Mosaic. I thought Mosaic was kind of coming around. I thought it, you know, it's starting to trend up here, but I don't like the way the 50 is down like this. It's below the 200, and you've got this upward sloping trend line here, which really this looks like a pullback. And what makes this even more obvious is when you look at it on a weekly basis, this is like a bear flag, okay? Like a flagpole and a flag, upside down flag, and that's pretty negative. So I think this is an opportunity for this thing to go south again, come back out. You get a close down below the blue line here, or even break this trend line, and there's a good chance it's going to go at least maybe this distance, you know, down below. Another one I want to take a look at, two more real quick. This was Solar City. I mentioned this on Thursday evening. Look what happened on Friday. And apparently they had made an acquisition, or I think they must have had good earning results, or there was a good positive discussion of their various, I don't know that earnings came out. I'll have to double check that. But the management had a lot of real positive things to say in terms of their outlook and what they were doing. Plus, I know they made an acquisition. But what's interesting is I didn't talk about this earlier, but on October 1st, I did get a buy signal in here, okay? And I have been watching this. I did not take a position. What's interesting here is this is just where the 200-day started trading, because this stock, again, just started trading in December of 2012. So the 50 is above the 200, although it's kind of flat. So long-term bullish. I mean, it's in an upward trend naturally. You can see this. It's pulled back some. But I got a buy signal in here, and it came up some, pulled back, and then this explosion. So it's broken out of this downward trend line or channel. Looks very, very positive with huge volume. So we'll have to see if it can run and take off. And the last one I want to mention in terms of an idea is Yoku. And you know, again, this looks positive to me. Good trend line alignment. You know, got the couple closes here above the 10-day. This stock has corrected 50% of this move, and it's corrected, you know, when it moved up here, it corrected 68%. This move, it corrected 50%. It looks like it wants to go. I was really torn between this one and Yandex, and I went with Yandex. So anyway, that's it for Sunday evening. Some ideas to consider this week and watch, and we'll kind of check in with you here. We'll see how the market's doing tomorrow and Tuesday, and we'll go from there. Have a great Monday. Talk to you soon.